Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a dev, and this is Sage Dev, Tony Sage. I think I keep leaving that part out. Wanted to give you a cool update. First of all, full disclosure, I did some work populating some of this data outside of a video. I know. It's a shame, isn't it? But the upside is now we have some actual usable data. Among the things I did was include a taxonomy tag library where someone can say, this is my type of food truck, and assign multiples, and it filters. So if I do Mexican, there's some Mexican, if there's burgers. I also did a quick touch to the profile page to allow somebody to select this, along with creating a database seeder for food trucks. So this is when we want to test this locally, we can do a Lando artisan, and that will build all of our local testing data. So if you don't want someone to have to enter this stuff, that's one of the things that's built in. It's a not Lando, it's a Laravel, and it's built by default. So once we've established that and said, okay, we want to do our seeder, then we have our database migrations here, and then we have the actual seeder will populate from the truck library and say, I want to create some kind of fake company name, and I want to create a fake description. I also set it up so that it'll import images, which are obviously fake. These are just Getty images. They're open licenses, gen use licenses. So that's set up, and along with those images, which are in the code base, if you are following, you want to try it out for yourself, should populate the content. I am, to be frank, I'm running out of my budget for my video editor. I'm only allowed so many per month. So, and I've been burning through credits. So I did not want to do all of this. I also made some transitions so that our mobile first development site will have a full site experience. That didn't take a whole lot of doing. It's just shifting things around with CSS. And if you were to look, it's the same. So it has in the nav, for example, it has breakpoints, and those breakpoints are set with Tailwind. So Tailwind has a default library of these breakpoints and things, and that's what it's leveraging. It also has in the components a mobile nav is now hitting the full screen, and it'll actually transition for you, and this is where your links and things are. So they actually move appropriately, and I built that. That being said, that is not why I'm recording today. I'm recording today because exciting news, Fable 5. I've just been given access. So Fable 5, what is Fable 5? You remember they were going to release a new model. This is July 1st of 26 is this video. In May, June, they were going to release this model. It's supposed to be the most ambitious model to date. So I want to give it a test and try to build something with this model and see how quickly it processes. So that's very new stuff. I've been using Opus 4.8. I've used a lot of Opus, but today I have an open budget and I'm in a, not a trial period, but they're giving me so many Fable 5 tokens that I can use towards my allotment before I have to go into a special plan to pay extra. So I'm just going to see what it does and how it works. Things that we are still missing from this plan. So we have our data entry form on the profile. We have our filters are working and they're established. Our images are being uploaded and stored and are properly rendering. There's some adjustment maybe we could be doing here. The header and footer are there. So next things we need to do, profile's working, but I don't have a full page for the actual truck. In function, we want to be able to click find now and get to a page where we display the truck menu, where we display the image and the title a description, and eventually a map. I don't know if I'm going to set GPS coordinates and tie all of that together with Google Maps yet. That's going to be a to-do. But we can use Fable to try to create a page. So we have all the context are already stored in Claude with the Claude.md. So let's go ahead and see what Fable can do for us. I'm going to try to make this as vague as possible just to see how Fable works and if it gives us the results we want. If we don't like it, we can always roll it back. I mean, I just working from a fresh commit. Actually, let me go ahead and do a checkout to dev. Git pull origin develop. Make sure those changes are in. They are. Git checkout tsage. This is day 06. And I want it to be truck view pages. Okay. So now we're working from a clean repo. So anything it commits, if we don't like the look and feel or how Fable's working, we can always just roll back our changes in Git, which is very straightforward to do. So let's give it a shot. It says, is the most capable model. Draws down usage much faster than Opus 4.8. Opus 4.8 is what we've been using. So this is probably going to eat some tokens hard and fast. If I max out my tokens, that's going to be the end of the video until next week when my tokens refresh. All right, let's give it something vague. I have truck cards, but no truck page. I want to create a truck page populated with truck data that the cards will link to. I want it to be effective and efficient. And if you've been following my prompts up to this point, I'm much more descriptive generally when I prompt, because a descriptive prompt means a better output. It means that we're well thought out in our planning and architecture. But for this, we're just going to run and see what happens. So I want to track its progress. I'll build a truck detail page. Also, I have hooked up the browser to this. So I want to see if it takes over my browser and does testing, linting, anything else, or if it just builds this. I also want it to switch to the plan mode, and we'll see if it actually does that. So it's going through all my routes. It's making sure that it has all the context that it needs. It's reading through the card blade, food truck PHP, and then our home page and the shell that wraps. So our shell right now is the HTML head and the body. So we're going to check the shell that it wraps this new page so that the navigation follows. And it's getting the menu item, hours, images are all in SQL. It's getting the CSS, app card, and hours. And my blade. This is the card carousel blade. I hope it doesn't leverage that, but we're going to see. I usually would pause this, but because I'm testing out this new model, we're just going to let it run and you can hear me talk. On top of just testing out Fable 5 and seeing what it does, I want to build this page, and then I want to hook up Google Maps and make it so that the GPS locations can be set from the profile page. The map renders from the GPS coordinates, so I want the map to be a certain range around the pin for the truck. And then I want the home page to be related to the user's GPS coordinates or an entered zip code or address. All of that's Google Maps driven. But when somebody establishes a location and says this is where I am from the homepage, it should automatically pull in trucks that are in that region, and it could store them. So right now, in the database for the trucks, it already built a field for this. Food trucks. Yeah. So we've already got a lat long that are going to be stored. Once somebody pins it for the first time, that'll be its location for future searches. So even if it's not open, it'll say, hey, it's in this area, and it can display as not active. Eventually, we're going to have some kind of a tag that'll display on the cards. So right now these are our cards. I think somewhere in like this top left, we might have a red, because we already have red in our color scheme, but we're not using a ton of it. We could have a red thing here that says now open or active or something, and probably have a blinking white dot just to draw attention to it. Nothing too crazy, because I don't want to violate ADA compliance. But now that I've talked through some of that plan, what's it doing? Saying the card is being used in the profile page. These are the tests that are leveraging it. We have factories. I'm not sure why it has to dig into each of these things. Maybe it's doing a new learning context, because all of this is already in the Claude.md. So my assumption it would lean on the Claude.md first, but maybe it's adding a new memory file. We can go look at that. Claude sets its own reference material, essentially. So when you're executing a task or something, it stores it into local memory it's in your user, I think it's user.claude. I can ask it where it is when it's done. But it might just be storing that context. So it's getting our Livewire component namespaces and making sure that we're building it closely associated to that. What our CSS is towards the pills and the filters. Where it renders in page components. And inside the theme.css. So it looks like it's going to do not ask. I would have rather it swapped to plan and walked me through a plan, but we could always do that manually next time. So it's added Street Bytes home. Okay, so it's taking some of the context away from the actual shell. So before it was having title or Street Bytes. So if you were on a different page, like profile would be added to the title in the head, so that when it displayed really any of the context, but in the meta it would be listed as whatever the title was. It looks like it's removing that. It is setting inside of our header, it says active or home is now just active. And it's doing the same thing for the nav at the bottom. It's going to get to our blades. Show.blade.php. This is a truck. View truck show. So this must be where it's building those trucks. It's going to give me a back button that goes back to the home, route home. Photos. It's doing a for each loop that's not critical because we're not intending on having more than one photo per truck. It's building a view box if it's empty. So this is setting in the other version we had a empty truck in a black background. That was our filler. That's going to be a filler image if there is no image. We are showing truck name in semi-bold, large, extra large header. Then we have the tags that belong to the truck, hours, open today. That's better than some of the other context that I have. I'm probably going to go in and change our date time picker as well. All right, let's just see if it's done. Not quite. So it's built the truck page view inside of the show dot blade. That's what we were going through. So it's rendering the menus, and it's doing it in a list following our BEM structure. And okay, truck page is live. Every card links to it. It's using routing logic to determine the truck. Let's see if it works. We already walked through the code. Claude MD CSS partial and pages are slightly out of date. Run update docs. I will. Okay. So upside is it ran. I still need to get a logo. That's probably something I should do. But now when I go to the truck, this is truck ID number 4 in the database. That's why it's coming back as truck 4. Burger block with my burgers. Crispy smash burger stacked with premium toppings is our dummy title. Here's our menu items. I don't have descriptions on these. Let's see, it's mobile first, so let's see what it looks like in mobile. Yeah, I'm not blown away, but it does look pretty good. This all trucks was something that it generated on our behalf. I think that's just a half of a breadcrumb. It looks pretty good to me. Well, you did that, so... Ooh, what is... Does this truck have 2 images? I don't know if I like that or not. I'm not against it. And it is doing that nice left to right Slido CSS driven. So if I do left and right on my keyboard nav, it's doing that right as well. I kind of am not expecting us to have multiple images. Maybe that's just something we leave in case in the future we wanted more images. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. So let's give it something a little trickier. How many tokens have I used? Oh boy, this is exciting stuff. Compelling and rich. So I've used 4% of my budget with 1 prompt. And my current session used 16%. So I may run out of tokens. Let's give it an ask instead. Ask permissions, accept edits, auto mode, plan mode. I want to be able to get a Google Maps I don't want to do a frame. I kind of would rather do an image. Static image for a truck based on the current truck's location, GPS location. I want to display that image in the truck detail page above or under the title, under the truck name, maybe under the truck tags. I want to have a pin that we place on top of the image in the center for that particular truck. I want the Google image from Google Maps about, I don't know, 20 miles. How far is too far to drive for a food truck? 20 miles from the current GPS location on the truck. We can update the lat long on the trucks to within 20 miles of the, I don't want to do that, 20 miles of 66202 to give us some useful development testing data. 66202 is my zip code. I don't think that's a secret. Let's just see what it does. How about before we do that, before we start implementing it, do we need to set up a Google Maps, a private Google Maps connection for this logic, or is there some free to use version out there? So the one part of this that I am not sure how I want to handle it, if you're working for, like I'm working for this big retail rental company right now as my client, and they have many, many locations and they have maps on the page. The problem is every time that we call Google Maps, we have to call using the Google Maps API and provide their billing code, and they get charged for it. I don't know if there's some version of that we could use for this profile that's cheap and effective, that we could just have, 10 trucks plus the home page, which would pin all the trucks relative to your current GPS location. I want that to be free. If we could get it free, I'm asking it if that's a thing. If it's not, then it's not. It could be just that we frame the Google Maps iframe. I don't love that, but I'd rather have a static image because it'll be fast and zippy and we can store it and we can cache it. Let's add that too. I want to cache the map for that truck or store it until there is a new pin set for that truck. Lat long changes. Go. Come on, Fable. You're supposed to be all powerful. You're supposed to impress me. You can do this. I'm going to burn through all my tokens for the week in like 2 API calls. I'm showing a tremendous amount of faith in you because Opus, I wouldn't be at 4% from one prompt. I would have to go through all the prompts. I could go through an entire day of development with Opus and be close to my weekly budget. But Fable is, and we're going to have a limited set of Fable. The way that it works for this initial rollout, it's going to give me up to 50% of my budget can be spent on Fable. Beyond that, then I have to pay extra upcharge to use Fable. And this may just be introductory, trying to get me hooked. And then I can invest in it and have an endless amount of calls to Claude and spend all of my budget. Okay, so searching Google Maps static API free tier 2076 pricing requires bill pay API key. I really hope not. Static, free, no API key. It's doing web searches out there to see what's available. I'm glad you have that ability, but I don't know that I trust the internet. I know because I make websites. It's not that hard. I want it to be right. Maybe it'll have context that I'm lacking. Which image source should the truck detail use? Free forever, no account, no card, composer package, stitches, OSM tiles into a PNG server side. Need OpenStreetMap contributors, attribution line under the map. Fine. I'm fine with that. Google Maps, everyone loves, and it's 10,000 free map loads per month. Free. I like Google Maps. I like it a lot. Free's better than Google Maps. And it should give me an attribution line underneath the image saying this image is sourced from. That way we can set a GPS coordinate and we can just say get a map from this GPS coordinate and drop it into that image and cache. I hope that it's a good tool, but I'm hoping that no keys, no changes to API. It's getting me a design. It's getting all of the context. I might update the seeder. Let's see if it does it for me. Right now, the seeder is not seeding a lat long. We might need it to seed a lat long for testing. We also might need, I think it's also seeding an image. Maybe it's under this truck seeder. Maybe it is seeding a lat long. So it sets tag names, vendors. Oh, it's creating new users too in my test data. So there you go. It's setting my vendor ID, barbecue dough. I wish it gave me, I bet we should be able to just set lat longs and I don't know, maybe descriptions. I think those are missing right now, but the image is also added with this logic. You didn't miss this. This is, I set that up for my own benefit. Okay, it is going to do all the pieces. I'm hoping that it either stores it with the truck and then updates it with the lat long change, or it caches it in such a way that when we load the page, it doesn't have to do a fresh API call. And we'll see what it comes up with. I don't think that's that labor intensive. I could probably write it myself in a very limited amount of time, but I don't know OpenStreetMap. So it knows the API, it knows how to build and render the API. So using AI to do this is just going to save me R&D that I don't want to spend. Just for fun. Let's see. I can just jump out. It'll be there. No, I don't need to get started. I'm already started. And if I go to home, I thought it gave me my, I must have to start a new session. So let's see. Today, yeah, I've got 2 prompts and I've used 225.6 thousand tokens. This is my buggy day. And this is today. So I don't know that I'm bought in on using it long term. I think it's just too expensive and cost prohibitive. But for just getting this done and for us experiencing it, I am fine with it. Waiting on the plan agent to design the OSM map feature. Completion will re-invoke me sooner. Oh, it's delegating. Okay. We don't need to spin forever. I'm going to pause this and let you know when it's done. Oh, here's some context just for you. If you click through, so right now it is working this, right? And it's delegating it to sub-agents, subtasks. Those subtasks are running here. So if you go to this click diamond, you can see all of what it's doing and where it's at. This is saying that right now it's going through that map feature and it is going through each of these different things, and it'll walk you through detail of each of them. So it's running new tests, it's going through pests, it's going through Laristan style lint and pint. It's going through the image seeder and reading through that. It's probably going to lay out my logic. So now it's creating a plan. We'll let it spin. Okay, so based on that context that I gave it where I wanted to use the cached version of the truck. So it's going to get a static map, it's going to set it into cache. When trucks should show a static map in the area around the truck's GPS position using lat long from the food trucks database table. Okay, reserved columns currently unused. Yeah, we want to use them. Rendered under the cuisine tags with the pin overlaid at the center. Perfect. User choose the free keyless option. That's what I wanted. It's calling the Dantsu PHP OSM static API composer package. So it's going to do a composer install and set that as a dependency, which includes some sets a lat long. You can zoom, width, height, title, layer, and we're going to get image from that so that we have a static version that we can cache. Zoom 10 at 640 pixels wide, 47 miles across, about 23 miles on each side of the truck, when I asked for 20, so that is fine. It's going to add a new action so that when it loads the page, it'll trigger that and generate it. Going to invoke in a public function. So when there's no coordinates, then it won't. When there are coordinates, then it checks to see if we already have it in storage. If it's not in storage, then it won't return. It'll get a new one. Builds OpenStreetMap with a custom title layer, openstreetmap.org, with some routing. It's going to fail out if it doesn't load. That's fine. Find or fail. It's inside the header directly after the if block. Okay, I do like that it used figure. I prefer that. It's going to go into layer components and create a truck page map entity and have some additional bits and bobs there with the CSS. It's setting my constraints so that I can make the call. Added a located state to food truck factory so that when we add more food trucks, it should give me a lat long within the area. Package last released 2023. It's fine. Page view after pin, synchronous tile fetches. Can move to a queue job later if this becomes too frequent. Okay, go. So in short, it's going to add this composer package, and once the composer package is set, it's going to set lat longs for me so that when we have our test data populate, it's going to place lat longs for those trucks. And when we navigate to the truck page, it should have the map underneath our cuisine type tags. And there should be a pin in the middle, and the pin should be styled to match our style guide. Okay, so it's getting image from curl. So it's going to curl out to this service, and that's how it's going to get the image back, and then it should store the image. We're going to let that spin a sec. Okay, Fable is done processing. It's going to use generate truck map image to render an image map. And the map should be 23 miles across, or something like 50 miles across. And when we do our test data, because I'm in 66202, it will use that as the center. When I am ready to put this out for a wider development team, I'll probably put that as to what is my current geolocation. Actually, maybe I'll just have it do that now. But it's going to pre-build, and it uses a little bit of math just to say, okay, where max offset is 32187, and it's going to add each of those a lat long according to that, and that lat long is set here. So random pin near base, where the distance is going to be at the max offset is the max distance, and it's going to randomly generate and set a lat long and make it relative to the current lat long. So let's see if it worked. Now if I go to, okay. Ooh, that's pretty wide, isn't it? Why don't we tweak that down? So turns out 50 miles across is a pretty huge map. Let's make that, and it does give me my attribution, which is required for using this. So let's tweak that just a little bit. That looks great. Instead of a 20-mile map, can we make that a 5-mile map? Everything else looks fine. While we're here, let's add a map to the home page using the user's current GPS location under the where do I want to put it? I kind of want it to filter. GPS location, I want that to be in the filters, and I want the pins to filter along with the trucks. Each pin should be at the current lat long set for that truck. Let's update the, I don't know what else I want to do. Let's just do that for now. and want to see just how far I can take this thing before I max out my usage. I'm already at 50% for the day in 6% of my models, and I've given it like 3 prompts. So, not for nothing. And hopefully, since it already has the context, and it's already in the same model that it was, this will hopefully be pretty quick. I know there's some complexity to filtering down those pins, but getting the current user's map should be pretty straightforward. We just need the GPS for the current user. Maybe it's something that we ask for when they create an account. I'm not sure. We'll come back. Okay, that ran and it looks good. I'm probably going to have it update the... Well, maybe not. Let's see how it did. So if I go and reload this, I probably need to give it some specifics. All right, so it knows my current location and it knows some of my, I need to make it see them a little bit closer. What's nice is now I have a library where I can zoom in and out, which is good. And when I filter, it is filtering the pins, but they're not all in range. And when I click a pin, it will take me to the page. So I didn't ask it for that, but that's what I want. Let's hold on a second. I forgot I had my air conditioner on. Sorry about that. I want to make it so those pins are all appearing within 5 miles of me, although it's not really realistic. Maybe we'll do more like 10 miles. For testing, but I want to update the map to the same, for the truck pages, to the same range as the home page. Something like 5 miles. I want to change the cedar slightly to have more pins within that range, but a few outside is fine. Okay, it's done, and I added a little bit more logic. So my maps now are a little bit closer and a little more logical. I know that if you live in the area, this is not in Crown Center. I'm going to have to add something so that someone can set a pin in the profile page for that truck, and it should set a new locale when they set the pin. Also, the home page now is leveraging some JavaScript to show the closest truck first. So like you can see, Burger Block is the first on the list, and then this should be Pier 7. Okay, it still filters, so I can do that. And they change where they are on the map. I can also, whoa, whoops. This is fine. Can we change the map so it doesn't zoom in and out? It's affecting the pins. Can we also make the map on the home page, not the truck pages, at 10 miles distance from current location instead of 5. I want to see more trucks. Hopefully that's just a little tweak, because I can't imagine it would be that big a deal. There's probably some change in the API call that it needs to make. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. I don't know that I would spend the amount of money to use Fable on the regular. But for the things that we were standing up here today, I don't have much to complain about. There's a map here. Some of these are cached. So if I picked one that I haven't picked before, it's changed this to 5 miles out. That looks a little bit not like 5 miles. We'll have to figure out why. It's setting a location. It's setting all of my menu is listing, my about, and my images are here. I have my map, which it has just adjusted. So now I've got more trucks. It's linting right now. And those trucks are sorted by distance. So Pier 7 is the second closest, Burger Block is the first closest. And I really need to find somewhere in the middle, maybe 7.5 miles. If I used Google Maps instead of this free one, Google Maps comes with a lot of those bells and whistles people are familiar with. But I don't really want to pay for Google Maps API calls. They can be expensive, and I don't feel like that's really necessary. Anyway, that's where we ended up. We have some other things to do here, but it's starting to come along nicely. And thank you for watching. I hope you got a kick out of it. We'll do some more later. Follow, subscribe if you want to keep keeping up with this. Check out the GitHub repo. Everything's going to be there, and we will see you later on. Take care. Just a little bonus for you, just so you know, when you use an expensive model like this, you're going to blow out your budget. So I went from 0% used to 100% used, and have run out before I can do my documentation. It's not the end of the world, but when you decide to use these heavy powered models, expect to run into this more often. Like, we recorded this for something like 40 minutes and exceeded my limit in that 40-minute window. So do use with caution. This is a cautionary tale, but won't impact our overall life, and hopefully you don't have to deal with this in your real world work applications. Okay, that's all. Thanks.